Hello my dear friend, I hope you are doing great. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not subscribed it, please subscribe it, press the bell icon, hit the like button also. Friends, please share my video among your friends so that they can get benefited because I am putting like my full throttle to give you each and every day the Hindu analysis and the political science lecture. If you would support me, then it would be a motivating factor for me. Please support my video. Now I have picked out some important article from the Today Hindu newspaper, and one is among them slippery slopes. In this article, writer is talking about the what is the situation of the retreating monsoons and what are the devastating effect of the retreating monsoons. As you know, it plays a very significant role in our agricultural system. Means monsoons play a very significant role in our agriculture system, and we are the agricultural based economy. Our totally economy depend upon the economy agricultural sector itself because 70% of our population are indulging in the agricultural sector, and so many allied industries are so totally depend upon the raw material from the agricultural sector only. Here the glitch and the biggest issue is that and concern is that, like, whenever or earlier the pattern of the monsoons was totally different. Nowadays, due to climate change, the retreating monsoons is having or giving devastating effects. Like, we can take example of the Kerala and the some South Indian countries like even Karnataka, Telangana, Odisha, West Bengal and the northeastern states. In the October month, they are facing so much issue, leaving a trail of destruction in several districts also. Like, significant loss of life has occurred. Near about the 31 people got died in the Kerala according to the news, and it may be differentiate in further, or there can be some like misguided numbers also. But the concern is that earlier the issue was different. Nowadays issue is changing its path or its structure. Earlier sometimes it happened with due to the highest and like biggest downpour or precipitation, and sometimes due to like a breaking of the dam may be the probable cause for the flood or inundation. But right now scenario is different, and due to climate change we are facing lot of like issue due to climate change. Even sometimes we are finding that in the Western Ghat, even like we can take example of the 2018-19 Kerala floods and inundation, where like most of the projects were came into existence with like after the despite of like a Madhav Gadgil committee recommendation also. You know that for the Western Ghat there was a special committee in the 2011, and like it gave so much recommendation that we should segregate the western part in the economic zones or the like a coastal regulation zone, and coastal regulation zone would be according to the like how healthy environment is for the industrial development. They had segregated all the coastal regulation zone in the three part. Means the first zone where the it is very strict prohibited to fabricate or kick start in the industrial activity. But like a CRZ1 is totally belongs to the central government, and CRZ2 and 3 totally belongs to the state government jurisdiction. But it doesn't matter that what is the sole like responsible authority for that. Even like you will find so many like river management and all these are the environment friendly subjects are related to the state itself, and they have to take concern over there. But nowadays we are finding that the Kerala flood was the responsible for the like lack of the drainage system, because in the river you will find so many construction activities happening, and we are narrowing this space for the drainage. The same case happened in the glaciers part also, like in the Uttarakhand recently, like a cloud burst happened, and due to like the lake glacial ice melt down, and there was a burst of the dam over there, or like neck was incapable to store that amount of water inside it. Yes, friends, here not I'm or the writer is not discussing what are the probable cause, but what should government do, should take initiative for to eradication of the things. Yes, our IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, is taking initiative, and they are like broadcasting early warning and all things. Totally depend upon the that situation. Our government is taking initiative, and they are migrating from the people from the prone area to the upper side, and they are able to manage the so many cyclones and all inundation issue in the nice manner. But our government is taking initiative for the short terms, and short term solution is not a fruitful thing, because up to what extent, or we can say that sometimes it would be not predictable to any devastation effect, and it can be detrimental for the people over staying there. Even in the 2004, it was a miscalculation of the IMD, and we were not able to predict what would be the situation and what the severe condition of that to tsunami. Even this case can happen in the future also, due to the some technical glitches and all things. Our government should take initiative so that we would create such type of ambit, and we can curb all the devastating effect and the natural calamities in the resilience manner. Our resources should be like that only. If the devastation condition would come into the existence, then we should adopt, or we should able to manage all the problems. This is the writer sayings, and even our each and every person of this India would want such type of strategy itself, and some scientific based method we should adopt, so that the climate change could be curbed. And although we should ready for the our disaster management activities and all things, then only we would have a prosperity in the our country. Now I think that is enough for this article, and I have analyzed all this article. Now jump to the next article, and the second article is about the India needs a caste count. In this column, writer is saying that there should be again socio-economic caste census would be there, then only we will able to manage the egalitarian society. Means egalitarian means each and every person having equal amount of resources along with them, then only we would establish very what is mentioned in the preamble itself, there should be equal opportunity of the all the things, and there should be justice, political justice or equality. Means economic equality, just political equality and justice equality should be there, then only we would able to maintain egalitarian society. Here writer is saying that an economic flip and social flip, as you know, in the later Vedic period, we are following the caste system in our India. Some castes are considering the superior than the others, an untouchable caste, or scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and they have oppressed from so many years, and that's why our government take initiative to eradicate all such informative from the society. And we came up with this type of proposal, so that in the future that would not harm our country unity and harmony, or we can establish a egalitarian society. Even our constitutional frameworker Bhimrao Ambedkar and other members came with the fundamental rights. Such type of right they have provided in our constitution, so that they can protect the rights of the lower caste also. Article 17, abolishing an untouchability. The same here, in the Article 23, prohibition of the traffic in the human beings and forced labor. Article 24, prohibition of the child labors on the grounds of the the constitution outlaws discrimination on the grounds of the religion, race, caste, sex, and place of birth, and mandates equality of opportunity in matter of the public employment, in matters of the to promote the interest of the underprivileged sections. it comes under the article 16 also. And the part 16 delineates, means it demarcated some special provision to give certain classes including reservation for the SC and ST. Means article 16, no sorry, part 16 always define the SC ST reservation. And it's not like earlier that point of time government came with such type of proposal. They supposed to give for the 10 years, like they want to such type of things. In the 10 years they would improve the socio-economic background of that people, and they will abolish all the things. But after that these things took a political nature, and now since then it is persisting, and we are keep on extending the limits for the 10 years again and again. And article 335 is called provides reservation for ST in the public employment both under the and union governments. The constitution thus provide both economic and social flip to the weaker section who had been discrimination against historically. Means they have pestered by the upper caste since so much previous time. But in the 1990 the VP Singh government came out with this such type of proposal, and they extended the reservation to the OBC caste also. And that point of time the situation was that earlier there was a reservation for the SC ST 22.5%, and they extended to the 27% to the OBC caste also, and then they turn up to the 49.5 reservation. And even that point of time the famous case you might know, the Indra Sahni case and versus of India, it established a base for the reservation in our country, like 27% for the OBC, and earlier the 22.5 for the SC and ST was there. Even this case came up with this type of legislation that our government can't check the 50% reservation cap which is established by the Supreme Court of India. But in the Tamil Nadu itself they jumped to the that 50% cap, and they give reservation to the some caste specific or group specific reservation. Up to what extent it is good, right and wrong, we are the not here to decide that what should be there. But the real issue is here, in the 2011 there was a caste census base data was there, and it was in the 2016 parliamentary committee standing committee just this caste SEC caste social economic caste census data, and for the urban village development they used this data, and up to what extent 98.87% that data was accurate said by the parliamentary committee itself. But right now what is incumbent government is discarding all these stuffs, and they are saying that that is not proper data for the any policy and all things. But here the writer is saying that we should take this initiative, and if we are discarding the whatever caste census happened in 2011 itself, we should consider, and we should come up with such type of thing that we can conduct again social economic caste census, and that can be very beneficial for the upcoming generation. Because earlier that what case is happening in the reservation which is provided by the our government for the 10 years, and now we are keep on continuing this reservation. They have created silos, means there are some people's upper in the middle class, they are getting each and every time reservation for their in the education also they are taking, in the jobs they are taking reservation, and their children are taking reservation. That's why the whole benefit of this scheme, some silos are taking, some particular groups are taking, but the trickle down approach is not happening till now. So many oppressed or suppressed castes are facing issue, and still they are not able to acquire, or they are not able to enjoy the whatever the provision provided by the legislation. That's why the writer is saying that our government should take initiative. Again, we should conduct socio-economic caste census, and we should come up with this type of data which can be beneficial for the future policy, and then our government or Supreme Court can look also that what is the provision we should extend this like 50% cap to the further percentage also. Otherwise, like we are in the future, if some state would do this and they will like breach the 50% cap, and it can be hamper for the merit base also. That is all about this article, and thanks for watching. I will come tomorrow with more articles. Bye.